stream to your audience.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it right now.
Right.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, Alia. How are you this beautiful morning in paradise?
I'm great. I would
Awesome.
almost say good evening. It's so early.
I know. Good morning, Dr. Nelson, and to
Good morning.
Kerry.
Good
How are you
morning.
doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
You're in beautiful Montello, Wisconsin. Is that right, Kerry?
That's right. Yep.
And Nelson, where you're in?
I'm here. I'm
Somewhere in the universe. Dr.
Yes.
Nelson is here with
Central
us.
Florida.
Awesome. And Kiltz is in Minneapolis, St. Paul today, visiting, and good to be here with Kerry, Alia, and Dr. Nelson. And we're talking about, what are we talking about today, Kerry?
Oh, we could talk about anything. There's been a couple things on my mind. Yeah, meetups are always fun. Another thing that keeps coming up on my channel, I've been thinking about doing a video on, is I get this comment 5 or 6 times a day, and that is, I am stalled out on carnivore. What do I do? Or I've been doing carnivore for a year and nothing's happening, but they keep doing it, kind of thing. So I was thinking of doing a video on something like that.
And when we say stalled, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Most oftentimes it is the weight. And the reason I want to do a video on it is because I think a lot of people use the weight only scale and they're not looking at all the other factors. So my first question to them is always, are you indeed stalled, or is your body healing, or are you losing fat, gaining muscle, bone composition, body composition, things like that, which is usually the case. I found a lot of people will do that. They'll say, I weighed myself now, and then 2 weeks later I weighed myself and it's exactly the same, and therefore they think that they're not having any success, but their body's probably healing and they're probably changing their body composition. So my recommendation is always to measure, or use a smart scale.
And I guess there's other things. I see insomnia here, or it could be arthritic conditions, or skin conditions, or emotional, mental conditions. Can be sort of like they're getting better, but they haven't gotten to the next level. Could it be what people are eating?
Yeah, that's the other big thing. I get that comment all the time. I'm doing 100% perfect carnivore, but I'm not having success with many of those things you mentioned, mental health being one of them. And usually when you dig in a little bit more, it is what they're eating. Maybe they are eating strictly animal products, but they're not getting enough fat. Or we had Dr. Eda on the channel a while ago, and I love how she said this. She's like, you got 2 big dials on carnivore, the protein dial and the fat dial, and you can really adjust those. And oftentimes people are getting a lot of protein, but not enough fat. And especially for some of those issues you mentioned, autoimmune disorders or mental health issues, you really need to dial up that fat. And I think a lot of people are not getting enough of it.
What's an easy way to up the fat?
Oh, I don't have mine here. Well, animal fat, of course. A big fatty ribeye if you can afford it. Ground beef is my main go-to, fatty ground beef. I had this, I ordered it online somewhere. It's freeze-dried beef suet. And, oh, it's good. It's a good way to get the fat up.
Beef suet.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty remarkable. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, I found, I think Rebecca Heichman posted about it. Someone posted about it. I'm like, I'm going to try that. And the person was saying, like, this is a great way to get really good quality fat, high levels. If you're monitoring your ketones using like a Keto Mojo or something like that, this is a really good way. And it's, as you suggest, Dr. Kiltz, it's just raw. It's just straight up.
I was just going to ask you, because he would like that. It is raw. Yeah.
It's raw, yeah, and it's freeze dried, so it's shelf stable for a long time. So some people will take it and add it in their frying pan and then cook some eggs in it, or just eat it plain raw, and that's what I've been doing.
Does it have any salt added or
no?
No,
it's just straight up freeze dried beef suet.
And so it could be eating too much or eating too little. Tell me about those two parts of this story, because you're not getting enough total energy input, or because you're just eating too little. Where does that fall into this?
Yeah, that's the thing I hear a lot from people as well. If they're stalled or having issues on carnivore, it's one of those two. I think oftentimes a lot of people aren't eating enough. Some of these things are so hard to troubleshoot with people because you'll get a comment on YouTube that's 2 sentences. So digging into it's a little bit trickier. But those are the things that I always advise people. If you're, first of all, are you really stalled out? What does that even mean? Maybe your body's healing. And then if you are, what exactly are you doing? And are you getting enough fat, or are you eating enough in total? Are usually some of the things to troubleshoot. Those.
I have a question. This is very frequently I know you get this question. But I'm gonna ask it because it's frequent. I've been on strict carnivore for 7 days, and I'm not getting any of the effects everybody's getting. What am I doing wrong?
Patience. Yeah. Oh, it's funny you say that, Dr. Nelson. That's another one. I should go through my comments and just put them in order of frequency, because that one's up there as a lot. 7 days, or I'm 2 weeks into carnivore and nothing's happening yet. What's going on? And they're ready to quit.
Isn't that why we always like say 30, 60, or 90 days to try it out?
Yeah. And like, there's so much water fluctuation the first 2 weeks on carnivore. And
Right.
most people are just looking at the scale, which they shouldn't be, and then they don't see anything happening. But 2 weeks is nothing. I'm like, man, I destroyed my body for 40 plus years before starting carnivore. It's going to take a little bit longer than a week or two to start seeing results, especially those first 2 weeks. As like you said, you probably are. You fluctuate so much water. That's why that weight only scale is, I tell people, don't even bother checking that. Get a smart scale or measure yourself, because that weight only scale, so many people have quit carnivore because of that. A couple weeks in, they're like, there's no movement on the scale, but they're actually probably really healing their body, and it just doesn't represent on that weight only scale.
I was listening to Lauren Knight Hughes interview Chris Kenobi. Awesome guy. He was talking about seed oils as the culprit and not sugar. Now, he hasn't done carnivore for more than like about 20 days, if I've got it right. And I've found that you've got to do it at least 30, 60, 90 days to get the real value. What are some of the tricks, Kerry, that, as you've said, I'm just not doing it? Is there a place I can go to learn more about or get a community?
Well, there's a couple. One of them, Kiltz Mighty Tribe, for sure. That would be a big one. The other one, I think you're getting at too, which I appreciate, Healing Humanity. We've got a good community going as well. For me, though, if I'm being honest, I always tell people, when I started, I was in Dr. Barry's group for a little while, but that was later. My initial community was just this community. It was just YouTube. So many good people on YouTube leaving comments and being supportive. But I really recommend something like Kiltz Mighty Tribe or our Healing Humanity membership site. If you're like, I'm going to do carnivore, I'm going to do it for 30 days, why not join a community and have more support, more resources to go to? There's so many people that start, and that was another thing that I get a comment like, I watched your video, I'm excited, I'm going to start carnivore tomorrow, and they don't know what they're doing. They're not getting enough fat. They're not. They need a little bit more of that support and community. So I would say join one of these communities for sure. Why not? It's not like a lifelong commitment if you just do it for a couple of weeks just to get the ball rolling.
So I got a couple. We got an Instagram. Today is day 460 on carnivore. Only cheat is that I start my morning with hot tea. I put heaping teaspoon of ghee in it. I also add salt and heavy whipping cream. I feel this healing. Rajshri Ratan. I don't know where Rajshri Ratan is from, but that's you keep going, and we have to celebrate every single day that you've gotten to the next level. And I don't like to cheat. I only like to treat from time to time with the little Kiltz's ice cream. And but I think that Kerry, how many days have you been strict, crazy, amazing carnivore?
Well, it's funny you should ask Dr. Kiltz because the day after tomorrow, Thursday, will be my 2-year carniversary. So it'll be exactly 2 years. And yeah, I haven't strayed. I haven't tried the Kiltz ice cream, or I guess I haven't eaten anything but animal products. I haven't had any fruit or vegetables or anything like that. I'm always careful saying that, Dr. Kiltz. People get mad at me. Oh, Mr. Perfect, but I did keto for years, and I would do those things. I'd have a cheat day on Saturday, or I'd have I'm just going to do a little bit of blueberries here, and I'm going to keep it under 20 carbs, and we'll be okay. And I could never do it. I would do that, and then I'd be just jonesing for more sugar 2 hours later, more carbs. And then I end up just binging. Oh, I'm going to go back on keto 3 days from now. I did that for years, fluctuating back and forth. But I get it, because everyone's on a different journey. For me, this was depression, anxiety, and I was in such a dark place for so long. I was begging God for any sort of solution, and I found carnivore. So I've been completely strict. Other than when we went on vacation one time, but that was unintentional. I had some bacon, I think, that was deep fried in some seed oils. That really, it was amazing how quickly that messed me up.
And we want to shout out Healing Humanity and Kerry Mann and team for bringing such an amazing story, and it's your story. So it's really important for all of you out there that are listening, watching, to get to Healing Humanity with Kerry Mann. It's .life is the new site that people can join, Kerry.
Yeah, healinghumanity.life. And if you use the promo code, Adam's going to get mad at me because I forgot the new one. HH24 will give you 50% off your first month. And
nice.
It's been pretty awesome with this membership. I see Lewis is on here. Lewis is one of our members. But we've been
He's a member everywhere.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, would you agree that it how much do people spend on health insurance or medications? And ultimately, to be healthy, you have to invest in our environment. It's not going to just happen spontaneously.
Yeah. Oh man, 100%. And most of these membership sites, like our Healing Humanity membership site with a discount code, it's $15 for 1 month. And maybe you only need a month. I think back, I'm like, this carnivore, that finding this saved my life. For $15, are you kidding me? In retrospect, knowing what I have now and the health I have now, I would have given every penny I have in the bank. I would have mortgaged my house out, because what good are you without any health? If I'm depressed on the couch and I'm not there for my wife or kids, or just taking years off my life with those things. So absolutely, it's a small investment too.
When we listen or watch anything, you're paying for it in one way or another. And quite typically, your brain is subconsciously bringing in all this marketing garbage, and it's sending you right out to buy the coffees, the teas, the drinks, the foods that ultimately are damaging our body. And so what this is saying is, hey, you want to get great content, and you gotta invest in it every single day. And part of Healing Humanity is the production of this great storytelling for all of us, because it ultimately, we're storytellers. The Bibles of the world are the stories. And by the way, science is also a story that has some value, but I think the real value is, what did you do to heal? Nelson, what did you do? What things were you suffering from that you found healed on a proper human diet?
Well, definitely the list continues to grow, even year and a half after have been carnivore. 628 days today, by the way, and but the bigger ones are reversing diabetes, hypertension, having to take large doses of medications for that, chronic pain, plantar fasciitis, just a long list of things. And like I said, I continue to see things even today. I just realized that I I've mentioned several times I got gastroparesis or gastroparesis. I pronounce it both ways. Uh, and lately, I've been able to eat sometimes two, rarely three times a day without having any ill effects. I used to take digestive enzymes. It's been over a month, probably a month and a half at least, since I took any. Uh, I I've, I feel better from
Wow.
that.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and even though now I can complain probably that I am in a stall because for the past year and almost a year, no, almost yeah, over a year, I've been more or less the same weight. Yesterday, I went to the supermarket where I buy some fat trimmings. By the way, they throw it away unless they sell it to me. They sell it to me for 99 cents a pound, so I'm okay. But otherwise, they normally throw it away. And so I know the butchers already. When they see my face, they know what I'm looking for, and oh, you want some fat? And one of them yesterday looks at me and says, "Have you lost more weight?" The truth is, as far as the weight is concerned, it's about the same. But he said, I can see on your face, yeah, okay, well, thank you.
Wow.
But I'm not too concerned. I mean, I do believe we have sort of a set point. I'm back to a weight I've been often in my life. Uh, High school, I remember my top number in high school was 220 pounds. I'm think between 205 and 208 right now, fluctuating a little bit. But I was 220. Uh, my wedding, I was 210. I was able to put on a softball uniform that from a team that I was on when I was 18 the other day. I found the shirt, and okay, so
Wow.
if
Wow.
I look at the scale, I think, oh, this got to be a failure. This is not working. But I feel better.
We have to mindset it, right? We have to
Mhm.
set the mind. I always say, wow, I'm feeling great. I look great.
Mhm.
And as you speak the words, the universe will compel those things more and more because we've been so ingrained. You know, you go to the doctor. What does the doctor usually say? Oh, you don't look so good. Oh, I got a drug for you, right?
Right.
But that's not a good coach
Impressed.
cheerleader. We don't want those people, right?
And
True.
I'm fasting today. I mean, since Sunday night was my last meal.
Wow.
And
Kerry, real quick. I'm sorry, real quick. It's healinghumanity.life. And what's the code you think? H2?
HH24.
HH24. Awesome.
I'll add to that whole weight thing. I love talking about weight. A year ago, weighing the same amount, I bought a pair of pants, 3 pairs of pants that I couldn't fit. Like they were super duper tight. Same weight. And somehow now I fit those pants and they're very comfortable.
Nice.
Hello. Why is that? Like same weight. So I think, yeah, we're totally right. Plus, Dr. Kiltz always mentions that obesity is not the cause of disease. Fat is not the cause of disease. And if there's a famine, y'all are dead, except me and Dr. Nelson. We are good for at least a year.
Right. One of the smartest people I know is Dwight Garlow, who's best friends with Jeff DeProsperous. And Dwight is the one that taught Jeff about carnivore. And I love Dwight. We're going to be going up and doing a meetup, which I'm excited about. But Dwight told me this a long time ago. he's like, he's like, I could be losing more weight, but I intentionally keep on some just in case, God forbid, something happens or I get diagnosed with cancer or something. I have that and I can fast and I can last longer and things like that. So definitely something to it.
Wherever you're from in this world, just please say hello, where you're from. If you're doing carnivore, how long? What are the successes, as they say, the non-scale victories? Those are real important. But again, even if you're just here and feeling better, and you're in a place where you feel like, wow, I'm healing, I'm in a great community. That's what we're all doing. I was gifted a book by my good friend Kerry. Man, this is a great book. Kerry, tell me, where'd you find this book, and what Meat 3 Times a Day by F.J. Schlink.
Yeah, where did I find that book? I think I heard someone quote it and I'm like, I want to read that. And then I searched all over for it and I couldn't find it because it was published a very long time ago. I'm trying to remember when.
1946.
1946. And I think you sent me a screenshot picture, Dr. Kiltz, of a passage in there that you enjoyed, and it was one that I enjoyed too, where it was talking about all of the things that can be healed and cured, and then it says something like, and none of this needs medicine. It's just meat. And this is from the 1940s. Yeah, that just blew my mind that we've known about all of this for so long, but the message just keeps getting changed and tweaked that we confuse things.
I was listening or reading a post this morning on Apple News about Valium and like the Valium crisis. Everyone's on Valium. You go to the doctor, you're anxious, you can't sleep,
Wow.
anxiety, depression. They throw you on a little Valium, Ativan. I mean, Dr. Nelson, would you agree that we were taught to treat these symptoms with the drug?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was, even our differential diagnosis is derived from what's your problem and working with whatever problems, symptoms, signs you have to arrive to a diagnosis. But even if you didn't have a definitive or final diagnosis, you can start treating the symptoms. And then the way we learned about drugs, we were taught about this medication is from this class and they work this way, and you can use it for this, and this. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I think it's a little bit misguided. The benzodiazepines, there are plenty out there. They have been through the years, many of them, and we use them too frequently. I mean, they are effective in what they do, but they do have more risks than side effects, I think. So I stopped prescribing them a long time ago because they are addictive, and the addiction part was always, you have to be careful, but you can use, most people can use it. I will be very hard placed to start someone anew on Valium, Xanax, Ativan, or any of those, because I think all the risks are just worse than.
What were we taught in medical school and residency as the cause of disease?
Well, each one has a different exclusive pathophysiological pathway, and we don't think about all our reactions that you can ever study are happening at the same time. So
it's complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah.
We probably need a doctor, a degree, right? A PhD, piled high and deep. Is that what they call it?
So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people in this community and others that try to do things more the natural way. They put there's a good things doctors can do, and if you are having a heart attack, I want a well-trained emergency room doctor to be treating me at that moment. But maybe we've made it too complicated sometimes. And this mentality about, oh, you got this, I got a medication for you. And you have this, I got a prescription for you. And you walk in 15 minutes later, you're walking out of the doctor's office with 3 or 5 prescriptions. And they also feel like they've taken care of you. But
well,
they haven't.
We'll take care of you for life.
Yeah.
And Kerry, do you have an MD degree?
No.
Mud degree?
No.
A what degree?
Well, so okay. So let me ask Kerry, man, Healing Humanity. What do you think is the cause of most disease?
All disease begins in the gut. It's almost all of it's from the food we're eating. I learned that, Dr. Kiltz. I think Hippocrates said that thousands of years ago. You hear it all the time too, like you are what you eat and all of this. But I never believed that before. It was always, no, there's something wrong with me. There's something specially wrong with me, something in my genetics or brain that I need some sort of medication. That's what I was led to believe when I was on all those pills. Xanax was one of those too. Dr. Nelson was just mentioning some of those. Man, that one turned me into a zombie, just tired zombie, just didn't really care anymore.
So plants, are plants live organisms that want to thrive and survive?
Yes.
Do they have chemicals maybe to control and kill other organisms?
Absolutely.
And we obviously have been consuming these for centuries, not realizing the adverse effects of plants. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we've been tolerating them.
Yeah.
But
I always find that funny when people are like, "Can't you have this? Can't you have that?" Yeah, I could tolerate eating cardboard too, but just because I can tolerate something doesn't mean I should necessarily do it.
is it possible that the single cause of almost all disease is a plant-based low fat
The answer
diet?
is yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I hate to I want to hit this home for people listening. We have some newbies. We have Kiltz Mighty Tribe on. We have Dr. Kiltz, and we're here, and we want to make sure that we have your YouTube, Facebook connections for everyone, because that's real important. That we're connected. It's connecting the dots of healing humanity. And tell us a little bit about the movie that you've been like just so amazingly producing and sharing stories.
Yeah, it's the documented stories that matter. That's a quote from Dr. Kiltz. We filmed 45 interviews.
That should be the second subtitle of that documentary, by the way.
Right. I love it. I'm with Dr. Kiltz on the importance of these stories. I've been going down that rabbit hole more. You think about caveman in a cave. They're putting paintings on the wall. Those are the first stories. It's like we've been telling stories since the start of time. But yeah, we filmed 45 interviews. We have just a handful to go for the main documentary. And I never get sick of these. It's like my passion, my mission in life now is hearing these stories. We have the main documentary and then we have the series as well. And I'm almost more excited about the series because if you have a loved one that's going through depression or cancer or type 2 diabetes, we're going to have a whole episode with individual stories in it and expert doctors on that specific topic. So you can send them someone that's suffering from something in particular. You can send them that episode. And I think it'll really, really resonate with them.
Is a dollar donation of value?
Yes. Every single penny. The whole thing is crowdfunded. And the thing that I'm excited about with that is there's a lot of these documentaries you see now that end up making it big they're usually biased because they're sponsored by some big corporation or they have some sort of hidden interest, like selling Beyond Meat, for example. So there's usually some sort of perverse incentive in there, and it changes the message. But ours has been completely crowdfunded, and I got to shout out Dr. Kiltz again because he's very generously agreed to match donations for Healing Humanity, pledged up to $100,000, which is incredible because people keep asking, like, how much does it cost to do this documentary? Most documentaries that you see that actually make it to millions of people on one of these streaming services are like $1 million. And we're trying to do the documentary and the series. And the series, I think, is just going to, if we can continue to support it, the series, I think, will go on forever. There's just more and more stories coming out. We're trying to draw a line in the sand and be done filming. But I think I mentioned this before, but we're going to be filming Hal Cranmer, the gentleman that runs the long-term care facilities, and he's putting the residents on keto carnivore. That one came up, and I'm like, we got to include that one. It keeps coming to another one. We're like, we got to include that one, but that one's it. And then we're going to be good on the documentary and moving on to the series.
But this is not something that's going to be finished because it's going to continue on and on and on, because I think we have to think about this a little bit like religions and politics, food. There's all different sides. So you can't, the answer's in, we're done, see you later. You have to keep on putting it in to place and teaching and sharing the stories for everyone, because it's a constant evolution of stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so important, the stories. It's so important in the stories. And I just learned something last night. We had Dr. Phil Smith with us. And I learned that the first thing he watched about carnivore was an interview of this guy somewhere in Wisconsin, Montello, I think, interviewing.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither. But this guy was interviewing Shaun White. And that is how he found out about carnivore. And, then he went down the rabbit hole, just like me. That was my first time I heard about, or considered being carnivore. I knew a little bit. I thought these people were crazy and weird. And maybe I still do a little bit, but now I'm one of them. And then, so we started about the same time. Looks like I started 2 weeks before him or something like that. So I learned that last night. Yeah.
A great interview. Phil's amazing. And the stories keep on showing up, don't they, Kerry?
They do, yeah. And they never get old for me. I love hearing every single one of them. I did something really fun the other day, Dr. Kiltz. On Saturday night, I decided I'm going to just do open mic carnivore night, where anyone can come on and share their 5-minute sort of carnivore story. I'm like, this might be a bad idea, just giving out the link to the stream with everyone in the chat, but it was really fun. I think we had 9 or 10 people come on, and really just off the cuff. Like I had my finger on just in case like someone came on and they didn't have their pants on or something. Like, who knows what's going to go on? Because we just opened it up to everyone, but it worked out really well. And I'm going to do it again on Saturday because I'm addicted to these stories. Every single one of them too. They're so powerful and people just want to get their story out there.
Yeah, it's again more and more and more. I just want a carnivore muscle is really great. I love the concept, but I just want to. I don't think it's mitochondrial dysfunction. Again, the cause is the plants, which damage the mitochondria or other nanomotors that are responsible for maintaining the normal cellular functions. And so I think the real critical part here is it's not our genetics. It's still just the plants. I mean, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine. Where do they come from?
Plants.
Plants. And so are we addicted to coffee and these and all these energy drinks that are not good for us?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, we're basically zombies walking around on
Right.
these energy drinks, and then I'm tired. Well, what's the best thing to do when you're tired?
Sleep.
Take a nap.
Yeah. I got to say, Dr. Kiltz, too, I've heard you say this before, and I've started implementing it. I have never napped my entire life until I started carnivore. And now, like around 3 p.m. or so, usually 10 minutes. And it is the best. And to your point, it's probably what humans have done since the start of time. That's my big thing on all of this. I've learned, like, initially I was going to do this documentary all about carnivore, people eating meat. That is what it's about. But really what I've learned is it's more about doing whatever our ancestors have done, whatever humans have done since the start of time, returning to what is natural. And this whole thing we do now where you have this regimented amount of time to sit in an office under fluorescent lights and then sleep for exactly this amount of time. We've never done that since the start of time. It's just this new thing.
Is there anyone that's too young or too old to join in the carnivore lifestyle?
No, no one. It's eating what is most natural given the options. I don't know how that wouldn't be applicable to any single person on this planet.
Ostron has a couple of questions. I don't know if we saw her questions in here.
I did. That's great. We have several questions, so we should take them up because we're at almost 40 minutes. But I need to say real quick, today the hashtag is #Kerry. So all 220 people, I would really appreciate that if you put that in the chat. And you're going to win a Healing Humanity t-shirt today only.
Hey, real quick, one thing you want to know exciting going on in the homestead, everyone here, Dr. Kiltz,
Sure.
Dr. Nelson, Alia. I think today, Emma keeps asking me, we're going to go get baby chickens. We have chickens already, but we're getting a new, what do you call it? Batch? Flock. We're getting a new flock of baby chickens, and I'm really excited because we're going to do them natural. We're going to feed the chickens their natural diet. We're not going to pump them full of grains, because that's the other thing I've learned. You feed chickens grains, they get fat, they get sick, they got to have antibiotics. That's not what they were intended to eat. You feed cows grains, they're better off on grass, and you feed humans grains and they get sick as well. So we're going to give these chickens their proper natural diet the chickens are intended to eat, and the eggs are going to be fantastic.
And it's spelt out in the book here that basically they're feeding the cows and all these animals. And remember, we're being fed the same way, a cereal grain diet, which makes us sick. And the cows did not evolve eating grains. They eat grass.
Right. Same with the chickens too.
Yeah. Awesome. Ostron, Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics would love to be on Healing Humanity. So I'm going to throw that out there for our good friend Kerry.
Yeah.
What's the questions, Alia?
Here we go with the questions. Okay, so question number 1. It is from Ashran. Question regarding a patient who came to my coaching practice. She has a cholesterol of 134. She's on carnivore and eats tons of butter. Is there a genetic condition that would limit cholesterol? Dr. Nelson.
It doesn't say whether I'm assuming she's not taking medication, and they're talking about total cholesterol 134, but are they talking about LDL cholesterol? So probably need to start with some more information, but we're not going to all have the same range. Okay. If someone is not taking medication and that's that total cholesterol, okay. We like to keep things simple here. I like to measure things when someone's interested. Okay, measure it, don't guess. But the simplest answer is what, Dr. Kiltz?
It's all worthless. Again, why? Because the numbers are so variable, moment by moment, day by day, diet by diet. And ultimately, once again, does cholesterol cause disease or do the plants cause disease? and our cholesterols are all over the place. Would you agree with that, doctor?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So why measure? Why measure? Right? Which animal is saying, well, where's your scale? Let's measure today. Or did you get your cholesterol today? Do you know what your vitamin D levels are? Is it possible that all those measurements are actually highly inaccurate of any disease?
It's very
My
possible.
vitamin D is below normal. I don't have rickets. My testosterone below normal. I got no testosterone problems. So once again, is it possible or probable that both the pharmaceutical industry and the testing industry all work in collusion to convince you, oh, this doesn't look so good?
Possibly.
Follow the money. Follow the
But I'm
money.
really curious, in a country like Colombia, where an entire family can get their health insurance covered for $30 a month and subsidized by the government and pay a $1 copay and get my C-section for $50 on my copay. Like, I don't think these people here have the same money, because it's not the same, but we have the similar issues, but it seems like people are healthier. I'm just curious about that. Maybe there's less on the money aspect in a country like Colombia, and we do. People seem healthier, I guess. I don't know. They seem happier. I don't know that I can't. In third world sort of countries, I don't see that that's the same thing. It's so cheap to get healthcare here. I don't know. I'll just stop talking.
The healthcare is not determined by the health insurance.
No, those are good questions,
What about-
Ali. And I think the difference might be the different doses of the different poisons. You know, if you look at what the general population eats here and eats there,
Yeah.
You're very likely eating in proportion more whole foods, whether it's animals or plants, than people in other places. And we have exported, so it's not the standard American diet anymore. It's the standard everybody's diet, and
Right.
we have exported
Poison.
ultra processed foods. 100 years ago, we probably didn't have that many processed foods, ultra processed foods, and the availability of them.
Yeah.
So they were able to eat more plants without getting sicker, and we have skyrocketing numbers of diabetes, fatty liver, and hypertension, heart attacks, cancer. Cancer was really almost unheard of,
Right.
even 50 to 100 years ago. And the numbers keep going up. What's the difference? Part of the difference, not the only reason, and certainly we can point to many things, but ultra processed foods is one of those things.
Keep it simple. Kerry, do you have any additions here?
No, I think that's all good stuff. Sorry, I was reading the next question.
Oh, here's really the next question. This is the one. Thoughts on dry fasting? Typically for me, just 24 hours.
I love it. I've been fasting and wet fasting and dry fasting, experimenting with both, and I've really been enjoying the dry fasting. I get a lot of people that say that's insane, that's crazy, you can't do that, you're going to die. I always tell them, read the book, The Phoenix Protocol. It's a great book, and it gets into the science more. I think like thousands and thousands of people have done this in Russia under hospital settings. There's a lot of evidence for it, but I feel incredible doing it. And again, it goes back to what is natural. What we're doing now as humans, eating 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day with snacks in between and drinks in between, that is what people should be scared of. Fasting is something we've done as humans since the start of time. We would have had to, because we wouldn't have had access to all this food.
Right. Okay, next question. We'll do the super chat from Kerry's channel. 2 MAD, 16/8 intermittent fasting. If I have both high cortisol and insulin resistance, should I do 3 MAD, 16-8 while eating the same quantity of food on 2 MAD?
So my first question is, do you really have high cortisol and insulin resistance? What is it? I mean, and I would like to know either more details or don't worry about it.
I don't care if you eat 10 meals a day. It's just eat less, the watch Healing Humanity every day, connect in the groups. Is there one way to do any of this, Kerry?
No. And that's another question I get a lot of. There's not one way to do it. And there's not even one way for me to do it, because what I'm doing now is drastically different than what I did 6 months ago and then what I did 2 years ago when I first started carnivore. My body's changed. My needs have changed. So it's different for everyone and at different times for sure.
This one's for Dr. Kiltz from Amy Hosp. How do you know if PCOS is getting better? Is it a blood test symptom or something else?
I'm healthy and well. The first words you want to say: eat fatty meat, eat less frequently, and I'm healthy and well. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, plant-caused ovarian sickness, typically irregular periods and infertility. If you don't have irregular periods and infertility, you're fine. But if you are finding yourself with irregular periods or infertility, it likely has to do with some metabolic disorder, which I think it's a liver damage and also ovarian and testicular damage from a plant-based low-fat diet. And even again, lean meat and not eating enough fat is a big deal, but there's no blood test for any of that, in my opinion.
Okay. Good morning. Over 300 days carnivore. Will there be a meetup in Cleveland, Ohio, Kerry?
We should do. Adam, my buddy Adam, Carnivore Today, he's in Ohio. We've had several requests recently for Ohio meetup. So
we had like 25 yesterday just in the chat to have an Ohio meetup.
We got to do it. Yeah. So there isn't anything on the books now, but I'm sure there will be soon.
Let's make sure, Alia, do we have a super chat button on Dr. Kiltz?
We will very soon. We're working on it with Twitter.
Let's get those things done, number one. And number two, let's make sure we have the meetups growing and also a button on drkiltz.com for Healing Humanity donations. Is there a button on there?
Great. No, I will get it on there. We're doing that.
Good. Awesome.
Next question.
I was going to say, I appreciate that. And I keep shouting out drkiltz.com. I've got it in my description for anyone watching my channel. Love the homepage. I just send people to your page because you guys have the best list of the meetups coming up. They're all of them. They're right there on the homepage, drkiltz.com.
And if anyone out there has a meetup coming up, let's get it on there. Let's add your meetups there, because I think that's really important that the more local, and we're talking about local Healing Humanity chapters, that also could continue to help foster a greater community. And we're not here to fight anyone. If you want to be a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, we support you in that. But we also support the idea that carnivore is the game changer. And as physicians, Dr. Nelson and myself have learned basically that we don't even talk about diet. It doesn't matter. And we just say, what's our eat your fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. Okay. Here is Ashra and Kerry. I want to be on your channel. It doesn't say that. I just summarized.
Oh, let's go. You can email me, homesteadhow@gmail.com. I apologize if I missed your message. So I get messages on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not good at Instagram and Facebook yet. Sometimes I miss those. So homesteadhow@gmail.com. Shoot me an email.
They should maybe you can set up an automation on your messages so that you can tell them to email you.
Yeah, I should do that.
Lauren, Gianna. So 3 months ago, my A1C was 5.6, and I took yesterday, it was 5.8 again, which is original score when I first started carnivore, not eating carbs and sugar. What's happening? Oh, let me be the doctor on this one. Let me be the doctor, because I learned from Dr. Ovadia a possibility that when you're on carnivore, we haven't done the research on this, there's a potentiality that your your blood cells live, your red blood cells live longer, and therefore you could have a higher score on A1C later. What do you think, Dr. Nelson?
I was hoping you didn't ask me that because I totally disagree. I totally disagree with that explanation. But all right, so there's this thing that definitely ends up being what I'm now choosing to use more frequently, this term insulin insensitivity, insulin resistance. All right, whatever happened, there's a couple of explanations of what's going on there. It could be years before you're able to reverse that, number one. The other thing is, it looks, they're making an effort to have some higher fat. Maybe you need to decrease a little bit the protein because similar to what happens with glucose, with amino acids, it happens to a lesser degree, I think. There are multiple functions for the protein that you ingest, building up structures in your body. But the excess, it's converted into sugar. And then that sugar, glucose, I'm talking mainly, then that extra glucose converted to fat. So you may still be eating a little bit more protein for what your needs are, and maybe not enough fat. So like Kerry was saying, Dr. E was mentioning, and it's basically all these reactions are happening in the body at the same time. You just you have different knobs where you're lowering this and increasing that. You never shut off completely those reactions, but maybe increasing the fat a little bit. The reason I don't think I'm not alone on this, I certainly have done a little bit of research. Hemoglobin A1C is measured by measuring the amount of hemoglobin where glucose has attached. And I consider those cells, because if you think about the more sugar is attached, more glucose, maybe there is a little bit of more damage to the red blood cell. So I don't buy the theory that more damaged red blood cells are living longer. So there hasn't been any study that I've seen. I think might have to do more with our sensitivity to insulin, which is affected, definitely affected. Some people, this is why we develop diabetes and all these metabolic disorders, chronic excessive carbohydrate consumption, or just eating too many plants, right?
Right. So
low fat diets are deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Low fat diet, and fat comes from an animal, and oils come from plants. Plant oils are industrial; they're not good for us.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from them. Stick to animal fat, and stop measuring all this stuff. And I think insulin resistance is damage to the liver, which basically means your liver cannot make fat fast enough, even though it's doing a really good job in this world. We just made a complicated story out of science, which maybe is simple. If you just do carnivore and like hang out with Dr. Nelson, Ali, and Kerry and Kiltz.
It's fun. That's why you need to come to our meetups. Speaking of which,
and if you want to hang around with us, where is the next meetup?
Yeah, exactly. Kerry, where's the next meetup?
Oh, the next meetup. Well, you got to go to Dr. Kiltz to read about that. But the next meetup is in Yuma, Tennessee, April 13th. Dr. Kiltz will be speaking there. Dr. Nelson will be speaking there. Dr. Barry will be speaking there. My daughter Emma is going to be getting up on stage and sharing too. Adam, Coach Lisa, who's incredible, she's going to be speaking as well. I'm really looking at these meetups. I don't know. I'm hooked on these meetups. I'm really looking forward to this one in Tennessee. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Emma has been doing a better job every time that I hear her. That
Emma's not allowed to go on stage, actually, because I'm literally bawling my eyes off. I don't know how many times I've heard her story, and I'm just like, But I'm so happy for her. No, she has to go on stage.
I'm happy for her because I'm seeing her building her confidence. And I just think at age 17, I never would have done anything like that. I think it's
Wow.
the fact that that's building her confidence, but then also I'm so blessed that she gets the wisdom of hanging out with Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kiltz and all these incredible people. It's invaluable. When we went to this last meetup, I'm like, oh, she's going to miss some of her schoolwork. And then afterwards, I'm like, this was way better than anything she ever would have learned in school, the wisdom and people she got to hang around with just for a couple of days for sure.
Okie dokie. So we got a few minutes left here. I'm trying to understand this question. What about eczema and baby formula? What about eczema and baby formula? Can you, Naki, explain a little bit more? Oh, you understand it?
So sure. I mean, Dr. Nelson, you want to take this? They look like you're...
Baby formula, when you look at the ingredients, is loaded with vegetable seed oils.
Criminal.
And refined sugar. And believe me, I've looked at this because I have a almost 18 months old grandson. And, you know, the best, if you can, the best food for a growing human is from mom. Okay. Breast milk from mom. And sometimes, for whatever life circumstances, we have to use something that I wish there was something better out there.
What about Weston Price?
But the connection there, specifically for the question, is eczema is more frequent on babies that are using formulas. You know, and like I said, it's loaded with vegetable seed oils. Look at it. Look at the ingredients. Vegetable seed oils, refined sugar, no longer high fructose corn syrup, but there is still corn syrup in the formulas, and
could
more frequent eczema.
So could what a mother eats affect the baby and cause eczema?
It could. It could, but it's going to be less likely if the child is getting its.
But if mom is eating a high plant-based diet, a lot of those antigens are expressed through the breast milk and cause the same problems for babies. So I think that's something that we also, I think carnivore for breastfeeding moms, pregnant moms, pre-pregnant, post-pregnant is great. What about babies, Kerry, on carnivore?
Yeah, 100%. Feed them what is most natural. That's my big thing with all this carnivore stuff. We have 60,000 options in the grocery store. They're all crazy. They're all chemicals. And the most natural food we can eat, I think, is carnivore. I don't think there's anything you can eat more natural than carnivore. So why not for every person, even babies? Exactly.
And then your kids last for pork belly and burgers when they're a bit older and they're talking.
Yeah. I went hunting yesterday. When I go to the supermarket, I call it going hunting. And I came out with 2 items. And you're right. You know, there's thousands and thousands of products there. A bag of fat trimmings and some chicken legs.
Nice. It's a good hunt, a successful hunt.
A successful hunt. Dr. Nelson, we'll go hunting together and do a video while we're in Tennessee.
Kerry, who's, let's see, your next meetup is in Huma. Where do people find Healing Humanity? Where can people go to find the importance of proper human diet?
Our website is healinghumanity.movie. That's where you can get all the information about the documentary. And if you're interested in the membership site, the community, that's healinghumanity.life.
I love it. I love it.
Or go to drkiltz.com for all of the meetups, because that's the most comprehensive list of meetups, drkiltz.com homepage.
And I want to thank Dr. Nelson and Alia for helping Kiltz Mighty Tribe and drkiltz.com and really helping our communities. And without them, I couldn't be doing this in a better way. Let's see. What's the gift today?
So we are giving away a Healing Humanity t-shirt from the Healing Humanity website.
Yeah.
Yay.
We should have links to buy all those on our website.
Okay, I will make that happen.
All of those, right?
Yep.
Cool.
I'm noting it down.
Awesome.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
here we
Let's use the
go. Here we go. Who's gonna be the winner today? The lucky winner. The lucky duck. Fennin Green. Feening Green.
Beanie Green, congratulations.
Yes,
Healing
I
Humanity shirt.
Read. I can read. Okay,
Yeah.
so what you need to do is you need to email me at alia@drkiltz.com with your address and your shirt size, and I will make sure that gets shipped to you right away.
And for those listening on Kiltz Mighty Tribe and also on Dr. Kiltz Instagram, Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. And we're working to bring on more and more guests so we can inspire each and every one of us to learn from those that have healed on the proper human diet.
Exactly.
Any closing comments, Kerry?
No, just I love all of you guys, and I thank you guys so
Aw.
much for having me on. And go to drkiltz.com. Check out our upcoming meetups, and really looking forward to seeing all of you guys at the next meetup in Yuma. That's going to be incredible.
And
gonna be
sign up
awesome.
there
So
for the
exciting.
free membership.
Kiltz Mighty Tribe. It'll be
All right,
That-
everyone.
Yep. Goodbye. We love you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.